Outsiders by name, outsiders by nature. The unfancied, unfashionable CIS outfits silently snuck their way up the ladder to the trophy in Rio, snatching it away before anybody even noticed they were there. Their style is truly unlike anyone else's, and though that does matter, it's easy to forget the individual cogs in the machine. Flit's signing was glossed over due to the controversy surrounding it, but he is one of the most consistent hitmen in the world. Seriously, he very rarely goes missing, and he very rarely misses. Fame, perhaps ironically given his name, also proved himself to be underrated. His first bullet aim is absolutely absurd, and his ability to open sights up or trade immediately are invaluable when you hit the sight with 10 seconds to go. Outsiders' composure in the final few seconds makes them terrifying. As the timer ticks down, you know what they're going to do, but the pressure gets to you, and it doesn't get to them. The pressure of the crowd, similarly, just doesn't seem to affect them like it did many others in Rio. Due to Outsiders' unique style, they've always been good at beating less disciplined, perhaps less talented teams. Outsiders are miserly, a robotic clinical machine. They're Astralis with the perversion turned up to maximum. The anti-phase clan. Perhaps their defining feature is James' obsession with the orb. That fellow was born with an AWP fused to his hip, and he isn't going to give it up, ever. And yet, it's that makes them so dangerous. They average one more gun round a game than everyone else, and that might explain why their games take so long, and why they win late on so often. Few thought that this style would work in such a massive tournament, with all the good teams. Yes, you can wait out Fluxo and wait for their mistakes, no offense intended, but can you wait for Na'Vi to make mistakes? As it turns out, they didn't have to wait very long. All of that about how good Outsiders are will go understated, because many of the pre-tournament favourites struggled, stumbled, and yes, choked. Outsiders, as we mentioned, are always very good against non-elite competition, and when the elite competition falters, that makes them the best of the rest. They were the best team at the event, but to a lot of you they never really got to prove that. FaZe got eagled, Na'Vi were toppled by the might of Brazil, and Liquid couldn't deal with a spirit break. Some will point to that as a reason for Outsiders' victory counting less. But if a great team crumbles in the biggest event of the year in front of a huge crowd, are they really a great team? What separates great teams from good ones is dealing with pressure, and Outsiders not only dealt with all of the pressure expertly, they put the pressure on twice as hard.